Hey guys, thanks for watching Fear into Fascination. I really appreciate all the new subscribers and I hope to be an advocate for animals. And this is the first video where I actually get to be an advocate. I've done some fun videos like unboxing, some shorts, but this is the first time I really get to be an advocate. So today, me and my boyfriend picked these two snakes up from Marketplace. They are ball pythons and they are in 10-gallon enclosures. The story is the kids wanted snakes. The mom said, yes, you can have snakes, but they are your responsibility. And the kids did not take the responsibility seriously. Luckily, the parents saw that the conditions they were in were not adequate and they chose to rehome them, and I definitely give kudos to the parents for that. These enclosures are very dirty. They have no heat. On the tops of the enclosures, I can see where the plastic is melted. So I'm unsure if when that melting happened, if the parents were like, I don't want you to burn the house down, so no more, or if it damaged the light and they just never replaced it. Not really sure on that. So these are both males. They are both babies, but not newborns. One is a clown, one is a Mojave. They may have other genetics. The clown, they believe, may also be an Inchi. Really unsure about that. But today I really wanted to do this video to talk about a very important topic, which is young keepers. Now, as we know, kids get into things, they're super excited. They're like, Mom, this is my life. I'm going to do it. And then they turn around and they feel differently, or it's just not as interesting anymore. So care kind of falls behind. And this is kind of what happened here. Now, these snakes were a little bit overfed, which I would rather hear than underfed. But it's very important when your child comes to you, or if you're a young watcher right now and you want a reptile, making sure that you're really invested or that your child is really invested. Because this commitment is even longer than a dog. These can live 20 to 25 years. I've seen them even older in captivity. So this commitment is definitely not a short one, and it's not an easy one. Reptiles are actually really expensive. For a proper enclosure for my girl Iris and Freckles, we've spent probably close to $300-400 on the enclosures easy. Probably more on Iris because she's my little girl and I spoil her. I'm always trying to buy something new for her enclosure. But parents have to realize that kids don't think as far into the future as you hope they would. Like in their mind, they're like, yeah, I can totally care for a snake for 20, 25 years. I'm totally invested. But they may not be. And the mother did not like snakes in this situation. So it ended up that they were rehomed. And I'm actually very grateful for that. That was the right decision, other than leave these snakes in this condition and hope the kids mature. So in just a second, I'm going to show you a close-up of these enclosures and show you some of the issues, despite the obvious, like the size. A 10-gallon is not enough, not even for a newborn baby ball python. I have Iris, which is, she's under 6 months old. I don't want to say she's super close to 6 months. So I think she's around like 4 or 5 months, and she's in a 40-gallon. These are too small. And then the other issue, the heat issue. All pythons have a high basking temperature, and there is no way for them to do that. So as you can see, these enclosures are very dirty. There's stuff all over the glass. I think in the back there, it's a fur patch, because these were fed live, and I'm going to do my best to get them over to frozen. But as you can see on the top, that the enclosures were melted at some point by a heat source. So I do know at some point they were receiving heat. But this enclosure, I think, is even worse. Like if you try to view through this panel, you can see the amount of debris and just, ugh, it's gross. Also, there's a lot of gnats flying around it. And here we have this beautiful Mojave. He really is a beautiful snake. As you can see, he does have some leftover shed. He shed recently, so I am going to leave him alone until I have to switch him over to the quarantine enclosure, because I'm sure he's pretty stressed after being in shed and a 2-hour ride home. This is actually the clown male. He's actually super sweet. My boyfriend already had him out a little bit earlier. They were handled by kids some, so I imagine they're pretty adept to rambunctious handling. So this guy will not leave my hand. I keep trying to put him back in his enclosure so I can work on his quarantine, but he is not having it. He is like, I do not want to go back in there. But I'm going to try to get him set up, try to get him back in his enclosure so his new home, temporary home, is good and set up. But yeah, he is such a chill dude.